Another important thing to take into consideration when you're selecting your material for your project is grade. What grade do you really need to do that particular project? Now, one way to think of it is if you're doing a small project where you have a lot of components that are cut up, it could be drawer faces, drawer fronts, cabinet sides, and things of that nature where they don't necessarily have to match perfectly, you can select a standard grade or even a secondary grade depending on the effect that you're after. If you're doing a large project where you have a number of panels that have to match, whether it be side matching or end matching and things of that nature, you're definitely going to want to select a better grade material or an A grade material. And in grades, what they're referring to is the amount of anomalies or perceived defects that might be in a particular piece. Now, if we're looking here, we have, this is the rift walnut, and it has that slight curve. So in terms of a grade, this would be more of a standard type grade. In this particular material, because of the linear aspect of this is going to be a higher grade, and that's just on grain effect. And then you get into things where you might have a particular knot in a particular place on a sheet where it might be repeating across. Now, in how they grade it, in that type of aspect is if the knots are closer to the outside ends of the sheet, it doesn't have as big an effect as it would if the knot were in the middle of the sheet repeating across the sheet. It will definitely drop the grade of material. And in a lot of species now, and especially because of popularity of a particular species, in this we're looking at a number of pieces of walnut, the amount of allowable defects kind of gets relaxed a little bit just because the amount of material that's out to be sourced. So 10 years ago, what was allowed might not necessarily make it, or vice versa. And in here, as I showed you before, these are two different pieces from the same exact log bundle, but yet if I were to do a cross grain sheet, which is 4 feet by 8 feet, this particular half of the sheet would definitely be a premium grade material. Now on this side, even though it's from the same log, but it's the back half, if I were to do the same thing, because we have this irregular effect to it, and we have sections that have some figure and don't have figure on one side or the other, it will definitely have an effect on grade. So we're getting two different grades from the same material. And here at Oakwood, that gives us a lot of flexibility into making sure you get what you need for your particular project.